Hey guys, thank you for joining us for another exciting episode of YOML. This is the Year of Magical Learning podcast. Today, we are bringing you 247, Reflection 247. And this one is a new book, but it's going to have a two-part reflection. So this is part one of two. So let's get on with this book.
Yeah, this is an interesting book. I've had a fascination with pain for the past few years and understanding it more and embracing it and learning from it and I'm just understanding how other people have dealt with it, have learned from it, things like that. So it's been something that I personally have been, we talk about atomic bombs and things like that. So these are things that are like personal exploratory topics for myself. And this particular book, actually, it's a book called Dreamland. It's a book about the opioid epidemics, the true tale of America's opioid epidemic by the author Sam Quinones, I think is how you pronounce his last name. And it's like from start to finish, he lays out a pretty thorough timeline of how we got to where we got to today and the mess that we're in with the current opioid epidemic. Because we've had many opioid epidemics in many different places and many different times in many different areas of the world. Like it's opioid. I don't know when humanity is going to learn that opioids are addictive. I don't care what form it is there. Anyway, I'll get to that in the reflection in a second. But this book actually has a unique history with me. When I worked at the company I worked at before Salesforce, there was this company called HC1.com, and we were a healthcare CRM and analytics provider. At one point in time, my last year that I was there, we, as a company, partnered up with this company called Appriss Health. Appriss Health makes PDMP, the Prescription Drug Monitoring Program. We worked with a lot of diagnostic medical laboratories, so we did a lot of toxicology reports. We had a ton of toxicology data that would flow through our platform every single day that we were processing directly from their laboratory information system management tools, the LIS tools. So the theory was our CEO of that company partnered with the CEO of Appriss Health. The PDMP is what every prescriber has to log their prescriptions into by federal law. It's a technology tool. That's what Appriss Health does, is they're the technology that does all the prescription drug monitoring program management, I guess. And so the theory was, if we can combine the toxicology reports with the prescription drug monitoring program data, that we could then maybe take those analytics and intelligence and do like an analysis of each patient that we could directly put into the EMR with some real-time reporting and analysis as to, are they compliant with what they're supposed to be taking and what the toxicology shows up and what's their track record. So there was this product that the two CEOs of our two companies, they were like, hey, I think this would be like a game changer for physicians to be able to have some real-time visibility into, like, is somebody compliant or not compliant? Are the drugs in their system supposed to be in their system? If not, how do we flag this? How do we bring this up to people's attention so you could always in real time be able to check the history? Those two CEOs got together and signed a partnership, and then decided to go to market with a joint product that we were going to build from scratch, to take some of our technology and take some of their technology and build it together, right? So our CEO asked me to go, the product wasn't even built. He was like, we signed the partnership and we had the idea, and our two technology teams started to get together, and then he asked me to go run the whole go-to-market launch on it. So like all the marketing, all the collateral that we would need, all the subject matter expert interviews, understanding where this fits in the market, what messaging are we going to go to market with, and then go sell it, right? And then at the same time manage the partnership. So that was my job. One of the first companies that I got engaged in a sales cycle with, as I was, before the product was even done, was this company down, it was a toxicology lab down in Alabama. And a lot of this stuff was about opioids, right? Like a lot of the, especially in the tox world, right? It was the prescription drug monitoring program. Like that was what a lot of this was about, or honestly, that was why it was invented, the PDMP. And this company down in Alabama was a tox lab. I ended up talking to them, and they're like, we have been trying to get this PDMP data for forever. First of all, not make it open source. So they're like, we want this product bad. So the COO of this company, his name's Brandon. He and I talked every day for like 6 months as we were going to market with this whole entire thing. And he is one of the nicest guys I think I've ever met. He came up to Indianapolis to come visit me and just wanted to introduce himself because he was so excited about this product that we were all trying to put together and how they could leverage it potentially to do some damage to the world, in terms of like combating this opioid epidemic. And he actually brought this book as one of the things that he brought with him was Dreamland. He was like, if you want to know what the opioid epidemic is really about, here, read this book. And I was like, oh, that's so nice, Brandon. He gave me some t-shirts and stuff like that as well from their Tox Lab and other stuff. And I was like, that's really cool. And I kind of just chucked it into a book pile in my desk drawer at work and was like, I never looked at it. And then as pain has been something I've been exploring, I came across this book again and I was like, you know what? Brandon was like, this is a great book. You have to read this book. And I was like, all right, let's check it out. So I know this has nothing to do with the reflection, but it is kind of an interesting where I found this book initially and how I know of it in general and how it relates into this whole journey, I guess. So that was why I decided to read it. It was a really good book. The opioid epidemic is such a mess. I mean, it is insane how we got to where we got to and all the different moving parts and players and this whole entire like crazy ass fiasco that is the current state of the opioid crisis in America. But that said, this particular reflection, this is a part 1 of 2, is embracing the pain and the treatment is you. So the opioids, do you know anything about opioids at all? Like in how,
No, not,
okay.
not.
So I read another book at one point in time. It's called 10 Drugs. I think so. 10 Drugs, it's a great book as well. And it was about one of the drugs that it talked about was opioids just in general, like in poppy seeds and how, the history of, from ancient, people to today and how it's been leveraged and used and throughout eternity, really. I mean, this is one of the oldest drugs out there. I mean, ever, like the opioids, poppy seed plant, based opiates, and no matter what time and place in history, like I was saying, the one commonality that has always been and will always be with opioids is it is addictive and it will always be addictive. That's because after reading this book, I am convinced opioids are not meant to manage day-to-day pain. What opioids are meant to do, like we talk about all the time, everything has a purpose, right? Opioids have a place in this world, and they do have a place in this world for pain management, are to end life. It is to ease your pain at the end of your life because they take away your life. I mean, that is what opioids will do. They are so addictive, but they are so powerful at the same time too. The only application, in my personal opinion, of opioids that is appropriate for humans is at the end of life and in extreme situations when somebody's in extreme pain, right? Because they will take away that pain. And it makes me go back to immediately into the NICU with my daughter, right? The last few days of, I mean, you remember reading the book, the last few days of her life, I mean, she was in immense pain. And I know she couldn't talk and I know she couldn't tell us, but I could see it. Everybody could see it. It hurt to watch. It hurts to even think about how much pain that she was in. She couldn't pee. Her body was bloated and swelling. Her blood pressures were all over the place. Her lungs were not breathing well. She was in some serious, immense pain. Her kidneys were failing. The only time that she ever had in her last few days of life here in this world was any amount of relief was when she had a morphine drip at a certain point in time, but then they would give her an extra bit of fentanyl every 2 hours. That's kind of like the maximum they could give. And you would immediately see her body just relax, her breathing relax, like her pain go away, and like for like that tiny little instant of time in those last few days, I remember feeling just relief, like, of like, oh my God, my daughter's not like suffering. But as soon as that would wear off, you could see it. It was like, an hour later or whatever it was, and it was like clockwork at that point in time, and all the vitals would start going all over the place, or you could see her visibly get more discomfort, and then we would be able to give her the next little shot of fentanyl or something like that, which is the most powerful opioid that's out there, and it would ease her pain. And so like I am not opposed to opiates, right? Like that's not what I'm saying at all. But what I am getting to is they're not for everyday use. They are for situations like what Amelia was experiencing, because these things are incredibly powerful and they can be a help to humanity in that situation. So where does this go back to in terms of what I learned from it? This is about embracing the pain. Like so much so in this world, we turn to things like opioids or to other drugs, benzos, which are like Xanax and things like that, or other incredibly powerful drugs to when we're in pain, man, we are in pain, obviously, right? Like, I mean, nobody wants to be in pain. It hurts when you're in pain. It is painful. Nobody wants this stuff, right? But here's the thing is like, there is nothing in this world that can take away pain other than yourself. And that is it. You have to be, the pain is a signal from your body and your mind to tell you something is not right here. You need to start questioning. You need to start exploring. You need to find a way to go back to harmony and balance and whatever else, right? Like that is what pain signifies, and it should signify. It does not signify numb it away, because if you do, like, and you use things like this, and there's nothing in this world, in my personal opinion, that can take away anybody's pain that is a chronic everyday pain than just yourself and hard work and questioning and curiosity and trying to get your way back into this world. Otherwise, you end up in situations like this in the opioid epidemic where people are in pain everywhere. Like, I mean, I get it. I know what pain feels like. This is what this whole journey is about, right? It sucks. It's awful. It's horrible. Nobody wants to be there. But at the same time, there's no magic bullet out there. The only treatment is yourself, in my opinion, for pain. If you want to get through it, you got to go through it. You got to question and start to find answers for yourself. Otherwise, you might as well, got to keep moving forward. Otherwise, you might as well just die, because opioids will stop you cold in your tracks. I mean, that is the draw of opiates, right? It is just euphoria. You just lay down and your whole body relaxes, right? You don't do anything. Opioids stop you from doing anything. That is the whole point of opioids. But the whole point of life is to keep moving forward, right? So like that's the disconnect for me, and that's why this title is Embrace Your Pain and the Treatment Is You. So I'd love to get your thoughts. I'll pause there.
I think, it's logical when you look at pain in the way that you describe as like your pain is essentially your signals your body is giving you to say, hey, if you going down this path, it is not the right path for you. It's signaling you to say, I am protecting you from, fatal critical conditions.
Right.
And that's why pain exists. The pain, it is your protector. It protects you. It tells you, don't do this, right? This is too much.
Right.
And if you continue to do that, you may not survive. Chances for you to survive isn't going to be good. And this is what they're telling you. Is say, hey, just for example, if I put my hand on a hot stove, right? What happens if I don't feel pain? My hand will not be there no more, will not survive. It has to be amputated because it's burned my hand to the point where there's no salvaging it. So that's your pain is your protector. It guards you from death. And that's what it is. But it has a divergent, because the thing is, we are designed to feel pain and to run away from pain. Because if I put my hand on a stove, I feel pain, I'm going to take it out. That's the design. Right. But but the thing is, and if you have something that can remove the pain, remove the signal of the pain, and not removing the danger, that essentially is, like you say, it's not only is it's a painkiller, but it's a person killer. I mean, it kills you.
It's a person killer. Yes.
Right? Because the thing is, if you, like I say, if I were to lay on a hot stove, right? How long do you think I'm gonna be alive for?
If you took away all your pain and you just sat there, I don't know, a couple hours, maybe an hour, like an hour, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, I don't know.
No, probably not.
5 minutes?
On a hot stove, probably 5 minutes.
Sure,
less
5
than
minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah, right.
Because the thing is, you put a hand on the stove for like a fraction of a second, and you touch it and you yank it out, right?
Yeah.
You get like first-degree burn. Okay? Imagine you lay there for 2 seconds. Your whole hand is completely burned to the beyond third degree.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, the pain is designed to keep you alive. Conditions to ease the pain and then run away from pain. That's the natural design, right? By nature, that's designed to do that. Now you have this intervention of opioid, which only does one thing, which is cuts the signal of pain to your brain so that you don't get the signal. Just like, hey, you live in the jungle, right? And you have a bunch of people together, like their community, and you have a bunch of people that go out and do the night watch, and then you go sleep. You essentially tell the people who go watch, like, even you see anything, don't tell me, right? Because I don't want to hear it, right? I don't want to hear the headaches of the problems or the saber-tooth tigers and come and kind of like destroy my home and eat me, alive.
Right.
That's, in a way, could be pain, but you don't want to hear it. So imagine that. So it's devastating to use opioid as that. Like I say, there's places for opioid, but it's only in the last resort to say, hey, let's ease the transition. But to me, based on what you're saying, is that's the only thing, the only situation where I would see opioid can be of use. Because unless you don't want to live anymore, pain is essentially your feelers. It is your scout telling you, hey, I have sensed these things and I'm sending it back to you, all these different information that you're supposed to be processing. And the reason for that is you want to optimize your life on Earth. It's self-preservation. That's the ultimate directive for each of our individual species, is to survive as long as we can. And that's the directive that is so primitive and it's so strong in our gene that that's what it does. So naturally pain is something that it's gonna prioritize over everything else. When you
So
have pain, you don't feel hunger, you don't need anything else. You talking about, and that's the thing is when you're in pain, you would give anything to get rid of it. And
that's the
fine.
thing. Right, exactly. That's the thing is like we talked about this the past multiple weeks now with the whole antibiotics situation with my son of do no harm, right? Like you walk into a physician's office and you say, "Doc, I'm in fucking pain." Like I mean, I'm in either emotional pain or physical pain. Like you and I, like you've talked about this. You have like shoulder pains and other things. Like I just got back from a tennis match right before this, and my lower back is killing me, and my shoulder is just like I know it's gonna be a long night's sleep every single time that I play a match right before I go to bed, and I sleep on my side, and I know my shoulder is gonna be in pain. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and go on a run, and the first quarter mile that I run is going to be, oh my God, like as my back like slowly starts to limber up and my legs start to move. But like, yeah, sure, I could pop an opioid or whatever. But the thing is, I would never leave the couch. Like, if I did that, because like the whole point of it is to stop you, or if you're like a football player or something along those lines, think about all those people, they would have like these little candy bowl dishes of keep popping. They would literally just pop opioids all day long and go out in the field and they just destroy their bodies because their bodies are telling them, hey, take it easy today, Chris. Like you can't go run really, really hard tomorrow. Like you need to oil, like let your body get lubed up.
Let's just say, if you put your hand on the stove, right, you have about 30 seconds before your hand is completely gone. Right. And so the pain is telling you to stop doing whatever you're doing. Right. Like so when you look at like playing tennis, right? They say, hey, I played 2 matches or 3 matches or I played 3 days in a row. Right. My shoulders is telling me that, hey, I can't take this anymore. Yeah. So I shouldn't play the next match. Right. Regardless of how much I wanted to, you should not play the next match because it's telling you to preserve your life. You need to stop doing what you're doing. And there are certain things that it changes faster, right? For example, like the hot stove, it changes. I mean, it kills you faster than playing tennis, like a football player. Like, let's say a football player, but if you pop opioid, right, you probably can only last another season because the thing is not gonna last long.
With his opioid addiction,
I mean, all these players that when they took opioid, right, they cannot last long because eventually whatever they didn't feel, it was a fatal, it's a tipping point. It tipped over to the point where your body cannot repair itself anymore, and then that's it.
It goes downhill. I mean, it's the funny thing about opioids, of what I've learned, especially in this book and my experience with, because I've dealt with a bunch of pain management doctors. One of the things that I've learned about opioids through that whole process is like it's the weirdest drug ever because like you think of like cocaine or you think of even alcohol or whatever party drugs, right? Like it brings people together most of the time. Usually, I mean, there is some certain circumstances where you can go spiral downhill or whatever, but most of the time, those drugs are usually a community uniter. Opioids are the weirdest thing ever because they are a drug of isolation. You don't do opioids with a bunch of people. Like you do it by yourself in your room because you just fall asleep. You just pass out. Like you know what I mean?
It's a drug of disconnection. It disconnects you.
That's its job. That is its purpose.
It unplugs you. It unplugs you. Like you don't feel anything, right? Ironic thing is that opioid is so addictive. It's not addictive because it disconnects you. It's just addictive because you want to get away from pain. Because when I was in a diabetic condition where it's very severe, right? I was in pain all day long. If I would have discovered opioid, I would have taken it.
For sure. Yeah.
Because the thing is, like I told you, you would do anything to get rid of the pain, right? Because the thing is, when you put your hand on the stove, you know to yank your hand away right away. But when you get into this chronic pain, right? How do you fix it?
You ask the questions and you put in the work and you go and you problem solve for yourself. Like that's how you really fix it.
But the thing is that the pain to me, like I say, fortunately, I don't know what opioid is. Right. I don't know what cocaine is. I don't know what anything things are, and I don't have the ability to get to it. But if I had the ability to get to it, I would have taken it. Yeah. I'm telling you, like I said, anyone can tell me, hey, I'm gonna smoke my cigarettes, and if I die, I die. You stupid fuck. You don't know what pain is. The thing is, you're not gonna die right away. You're gonna have lung cancer, or you're gonna have whatever. It's going to be miserable. You're gonna be so miserable, more miserable than you would. The thing is, you look forward to death.
Right.
I guarantee you look forward to death because
Cancer
pain
sucks
is
so
no
much.
joy. You have this pain, you have the stomach bump, you know what pain is. This is like to the point where you try everything, you're at a dead end and you don't know what else to do. And if somebody tells you, hey, this thing here, it is bad for you,
Solve your
but it will take
problems.
away your pain,
Right.
I would have taken it, right? Fortunate for me, there's no cure for what I have, right? I have restless leg syndrome, meaning that my legs is like, it feels like I walked around the mall for 3 days straight. You think about that feeling and it never goes away. That's, you done like shopping with your wife before, right? You
Yep.
know the feeling of your legs are completely tired, like as if you're walking around the mall for
Mhm.
3 days straight. That's the pain you have. And there's nothing you can do to alleviate. You can't even touch it and feel a distraction. You can't even distract it because it's from within.
Right.
That kind of pain and the shoulder pain and everything else you have, right? To me, that is nothing compared to what your daughter went through. But for me, at that moment when I was in that pain, I would have taken it. Even now, I'm telling you, I would have taken it if I was still in that condition, because my
I
shoulder,
I
my
don't
hand,
blame
my
you.
hand is got. It felt like it's gonna fall off. Okay, and my foot, right, my feet, my legs is restless leg syndrome, right,
Right.
and my body is always hot, like as if I'm being like cooked in an oven. That's the pain you're living with, right?
I would have too.
I just didn't know that opioid was a solution. Therefore, for me, as far as I'm concerned, there was no solution, right? Until I found this carnivore diet that I went on, and then I got better because of that. But
Right.
but to your point,
You
is
had the
that
problem solved.
the treatment is
Right.
you treat it. Opioid is a treatment because without you telling me what opioid is, I wouldn't have known what opioid is supposed to do. And if I only have gotten the information from online or so from other people say, hey, this is how people manage pain, I would have taken it. I wouldn't have seen the effect, and I won't be alive.
That's how these pill mills started. That's how this whole thing started. That's how the opioid epidemic. Actually, the opioid epidemic it's really fascinating. This book is really fascinating. There was this guy, I don't even remember his name, and I think it was sometime in the 80s or something like that, that he wasn't even writing a medical journal like published article. He was just writing a quick article for, I think they asked him to do this in the New England Journal of Medicine or something like that. And he did this study, like one study with one small tiny, like 50 people or something like that. I'm probably butchering the statistics, but just know it was a very small study. It was not scientifically done. There was no control. There was no large group of people. It was just somebody asked him, like, did you see people that were given prescription drugs, opioids, in the hospital? Did you see those people then walk out of the hospital and then years later develop an addiction? And he was like, no, I can say that in this small subset of people, they were treated with opioids in the hospital. The addiction was not a concern statistically for that subset of people. So he wrote this thing and he published it in the New England Journal of Medicine as a favor to somebody. He wasn't even like writing, like he was just answering a question or whatever. I can't remember exactly the scenario, but Purdue Pharma, I'm sure you've heard of Purdue Pharma, right? The Sackler family is like hated and villainized and been sued like crazy. And Purdue Pharma has been sued like crazy for this opioid crisis because they took that one tiny little piece of literature that was published in the New England Journal, and then they went to all these doctors and they're like, see, it's not addictive. I promise you. Oxycontin is, our drug is not addictive. They studied it, like, there's low risk for addiction. So doctors, being doctors, like, they want to take the pain away. If somebody came to you in pain and you knew, hey, this will help, Drew is in immense pain, he is suffering, and I don't know how else to solve him, but I know I can take away his pain right now and buy him some more time to go do whatever he needs to go do. These doctors were convinced by these sales reps that, hey, this isn't addictive, right? We finally cracked the code of making opioids not addictive. It's time released.
You're not addicted to opioid. You're addicted to the berry of the pain. It's not the opioid. It's the act of running away from your pain. That is what you're addicted to. If you give me one opioid pill and I know what opioid does, I will be addicted to it. Just one pill. You don't need more than that. The reason why I'm not addicted to it, because if you give me something and I don't know what it is, like, oh, something happened. I didn't like, oh yeah, I took this pill and this pill took away my pain. If I would take just one pill and I understand understood what opioid does for me, I will be addicted right away. The thing is, most people say, well, I'm not addicted because I don't know what the doctor gave me. I don't know what it is. So it's not like, okay, I can pinpoint what it is and go look for it. So you can't be addicted to something you don't know. You're not addicted to the drug. You're addicted to burying the pain. You have the ability to basically magically bury the
Disconnect.
pain.
I mean, you
That
disconnect from
that
reality.
that's
Pain connects
essentially
you.
the magic pill of poof, or your pain's
Yeah.
gone. So
I
the thing is, like I say, you're not addicted to opioid. You're addicted to the fact that you don't have the pain anymore. So the people who have experienced pain, and the moment you took it away, right, and they know how you did it, they say, that's what I want. I want that same thing over.
You think about everything that we've been talking about, pain connects you to the here and now. The here and now is painful a lot of times, whether it's a low pain, a dull pain, or immense pain. The pain connects you to the here and now, and seeing you have to address what's going on in the here and now. The opioids, their purpose is to disconnect you entirely from the here and now. That is euphoric. Can you imagine you're just floating off into your the universe,
Right, because
and
you're not solving, because the thing is, the pain isn't a danger. Okay. The thing that triggers the signal of the pain is a danger. I put my hand
yes,
on the stove. It's not my pain that's going to kill me, but the heat on the stove is what kills me. So
your
the thing is,
diabetes is what was causing you pain.
when you're on a computer, right, and you type blah blah blah, right, and the computer is frozen, what do? You punch the fucking monitor. The
Right.
fucking monitor is working perfectly. It shows you exactly what happens, right? But if the monitor doesn't work, it goes black, right? You don't punch the monitor. But the moment the thing frozen, right? You punch the monitor. That's what I'm saying is you look at pain as this evil thing because it's the messenger.
Right.
You shoot the messenger because that's the evil thing. And the thing is, this isn't, because if you think about, like, let's say, I mean, let's say you have a bunch of accidents and you're gonna use your deductive reasoning to find who's the bad guys, right? Every single time something bad happens, you see the same kind of people at the scene. So
Right.
these are the bad people. You're looking at the firemen, the policemen, the medical staff that's trying to save you. Every single time that you have a bad thing happen to you, these people appear. So by deduction, you can say the doctors, the nurses, the firemen, the policemen, all these people, they somehow caused the accident. They somehow caused the issue. So you shoot the messenger because they are there to help you. Pain is there on your side to
Right.
say, don't do this. So for me, you're running away from the messenger, not the real cause of what the pain is triggered to send you the message. Right?
Yeah.
So when you say, let me shoot the messenger so that I don't feel the pain. So if somebody comes to me and says, we're under attack, and you shoot the messenger saying, I don't want to hear it. So is that not gonna get you beheaded just because
Yeah, man.
the invaders aren't coming,
We
right? You think about it. Are the
we've
invaders coming if you shoot the messenger? If the messenger comes back and say, "Hey, we have seen invaders coming. We gotta figure it out." Blah blah blah. Frantically, boom! You shot the messenger. The pain, right? And you shoot the messenger. You basically put them down. So
right.
my question is, in reality, would the invaders still come just because you shot the messenger?
Yeah, of
So
course.
my question is, if I
Uh,
put my hand on the hot stove and I use opioid to bury my pain, would the damage still happen? So
it
that's
does,
something you
and
have
not
to
only
understand.
that, when it wears off and you wake up and your hand's still on the stove, and if you're still alive, you're like, well, shit, like I need to take another one of these pills, or I
But
need to go
that's
shoot
the
up.
point. If people misunderstood that the role that these things play, when
Right.
people say, you pain, you run away from pain, you misunderstood what pain is role in your environment that it plays.
It's so hard though. I mean, I get it. You hear all these days the words like mental health crisis in this country, right? Well, like, what's our solution for that? Our solution is to medicate people, give them Zoloft, give them whatever other antidepressant or whatever other benzo or whatever other. We just medicate ourselves away. It's no different than the whole Brave New World conversation we were having a few weeks ago about Soma and that this miracle drug that's not addictive. But basically, Soma is what we're trying to get to with opioids in a weird way. And
Hmm.
maybe we will someday, where you have this perfect drug that just keeps you at an even keel, and like you don't really care, but you care, but you're still present, but you're not, like, and it's all about stability, stability, right? Maybe we get there, but the point
I
is,
don't think so. I don't
they're
think so
missing the
because
point. If we do, we're
the
missing the
point
point.
is the point is if you have stability and you don't have the ability to feel pain, your lifespan is short because you are violating the primary directive of who you
Yeah,
are,
right.
right?
If we
You
stop
live as
moving, we
long as
die.
you could because that primary directive drives you to say, hey, the thing is like, why do you pay so much attention to the rustling in the bush? Because danger coming, right? So everything else, like if you ask me, hey, True, how's your day? Oh, nothing new, right?
Right.
You say, well, there's nothing new, there's nothing exciting. Well, the thing is, you want something new, something exciting. Usually, that's something that you have to deal with something stressful. I don't understand because that's what human natures are designed to focus on, and we focus on the I guess the wrong mechanism of how the role plays in each of these. I guess the pieces that fits together, and that's the misunderstanding. Because if you don't have pain, you will not.
This is what I
So
wrote.
so the thing is, so for like so the thing is, I've always told you that pain is not the answer. Don't embrace pain. Don't embrace pain. What I'm saying is, pain is something that is giving you a signal. You have to deal with
You have to
the
problem solve.
issue,
Right.
so that the pain doesn't ring on your head no more. Don't kill the pain because, right? Because the thing is, if I get rid of the pain, the problem's still there. Therefore, I'm gonna get killed faster than having the pain ring in my ear, right? Because my pain is telling me, hey, there's nothing more important than you to solve this problem right now. So for me, don't embrace pain, but alleviate the pain, but don't bury the pain. You have to deal with the thing that caused the
Deal with the pain.
pain,
That's what I said.
right? So
Embrace
don't
it. Yeah.
embrace the pain. Say, hey, I love pain. Don't do that.
Well, that's not what I mean by embrace. But
I want to correct
I mean, you gotta
the
problem solve your pain away. Like I sometimes when I
it's
write
cause
things,
and
like,
effect. Cause and effect, right? You don't shoot the messenger. The messenger is just basically relaying the root cause of whatever it is. So you have to go and say, okay, because I put my hand in the stove and it's causing me pain, I should not. I should embrace pain and leave my hand there, right? That's one scenario. I should bear the pain and then don't register the pain and just leave my hand there. And both options, you still would die. Okay.
yeah,
So the thing is, as a primary directive is the you want to preserve your life, you're gonna say, well, because the pain tells me this stove is hot and it's causing me great pain, I need to take my hand away from the stove,
great.
right?
You don't have time to
Yeah.
think. Like you gotta act. Like I mean that this is what sometimes I write stuff that's good. Like and it's rare, but sometimes I write stuff that's good. When I was reading my own reflection, I read this line and I was like, when we ignore pain and everyday pain, and we medicate it away, we like just stop moving forward. And when we stop moving forward, we die. Like that's it. Like like if we do not continue to problem solve and move forward and embrace whatever is in our way, like you smoke
Yeah,
your
you
last
don't
cigarette.
ignore the pain. You have to alleviate the pain. Don't
Right.
ignore the pain because that's the wrong. I think it's hard. It's confusing because of the word that gets in the way. The pain is your priority problem that needs to solve. Whatever caused the pain need to be solved. It's not the pain. The pain isn't the problem. Okay. Like for me, when I have diabetes, my pain wasn't the problem. My diabetes was. Okay.
Chronic
So
pain
it's
is
a signal. It's a
right.
messenger. You don't shoot the messenger. And the thing is, for the longest time, I don't look at the diabetes as the enemy. I look at pain as the enemy. So it's not like I understand what it is. I lived through so many years of it, and I didn't even know. Because the thing is, without the understanding I have today, I would have been addicted to opioid if somebody had introduced it to me by accident or by whatever. I would have been addicted to opioid, and I would not be here today because
People.
it's a lack of understanding. But for me, like now that I know about opioid and I know about what we do today and the pain, I wouldn't take opioid, even though I know that it's going to take away my pain. As and that's the last resort. Meaning, like you ease your way into the next the next phase of your life, which is death, right?
Right.
So opioid is the end, right? If you understand
It
that,
is.
then you avoid
It
that at
stops
all
things.
costs. Because if you want, like I say, if you were to say, well, I don't feel any pain, you put your hand on the stove, would you die, even though you feel no pain? Answer that question. That will answer your own question of whether I should take opioid.
So as you know, I'm a celiac, right? So that means I can't eat wheat, barley, or rye. And I went through a lot of pain discovering that. People often ask me when they find that out the first time, or we're at a dinner together or something like that, or it's like a work event or whatever. A lot of people have asked me in my life, if they invented a pill to let you eat gluten, would you do it? Early on, I would have been like, yeah, please, God, if I could just pop a pill and be able to eat whatever I wanted to eat. Yeah, I can't wait to eat pizza or pasta or whatever. As time has gone on, though, it's a similar situation. My body doesn't react well to gluten. I don't think you could change that.
You can say the same thing is if somebody invented a pill for you to eat rocks, like eat ice, would you eat it? Would you take the pill? If somebody were to invent a
No.
pill and allow you to eat dirt as if it's chocolate, would you eat it? Would you take the pill? That's the same question. I mean, the thing is, you masquerade these things, right? Wheat or whatever, right? There's a reason why a lot of people they have celiac. A lot of people have celiac. I mean, gluten becomes a epidemic now.
We're not supposed to eat fucking wheat. We're not supposed to eat grass.
Exactly. Wheat is one of those things where, like, say, if I would invent you a pill,
grasses,
right? And you can eat dirt as if it's chocolate. Would you take the pill? So same thing with wheat. It's like, okay, you're not supposed to eat it because it's like grass or it's like dirt or it's like rocks. But for whatever reason, it has similarities to the other grains we eat, like the legumes we eat. And some people rescue the pain, and some people are basically bearing the pain. But that doesn't mean that it's not killing them slowly.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure.
If I put my hand on the stove, right, I'm driving this horse to death, but I'm beating this horse to death. If I put my hand on the stove, but I don't feel any pain, would my hand be damaged? That's a question you need to answer for yourself. I mean, like I said, it should be obvious.
It would destroy my intestines and my colon, and I would probably, I mean, I don't care what pill. You can't repair the damage that I do slowly over time to my body. But I mean, it's a good example of, like you're saying, it doesn't change the damage that's being done. Like by masking it. The damage is done when there's pain, right? When you're doing something to your body, it doesn't matter if you can make it go away. The only way to make it go away is for you to problem solve your way out of it.
To remedy the cause. You have to remedy the cause. So whatever caused the pain, you need to remedy the cause. That's the only way. You cannot say, okay, I don't want to take in the pain. I don't want to rescue the pain. I just want to bury it, right? When you bury the pain, whatever still happens, in reality, it still happens. You just refuse to in your head about these signals, and that's what you're doing. It's like, imagine I move like I said, you sever the brain signals, right? That register the signals, neuron signal from the limbs and whatever, right? And opioid does the same thing. It goes in and blocks it. It blocks it, and so all the signal comes, it's been like filtered out. So the brain doesn't even know that, hey, there's something danger happening to me right now. There's nothing for me to do. So it sits there and do la la la. I don't have anything to do. Blah blah blah. Right. But the thing is, your hands, your limbs, or whatever is in danger. It is going to die just because you did not remedy the root cause of what the signal is telling. The signal is your protector. It protects you by telling you you need to remedy.
Right. Yeah.
You need to remedy. Right. Something's wrong. Don't continue to do that. And the thing is, because of some of these chronic illness, it becomes a gradual increase. Like this gluten, for example, is a gradual increase, right?
It's a compound
but effect. Eventually it could not handle it. And it's just like you go to, let's say you go swimming and you use some water, right? It's not the chlorine water. Like, okay, you're not gonna die, but imagine you keep doing it.
You drink a chlorine glass of water every day, I'm sure it would compound into something really fucked up to your inside. You remember that story I told you about when I first started having panic attacks, and my doctor that I went there was like, how's your relationship with God? Well, like, that's what doctors should do. Like, if you I came to him in I was scared as shit, and I was scared. And I was in pain too. Like, I was scared. I was frightened. I didn't know what the hell was going on with my life. And he said the right thing, right? But he also said, medically, by law, I have to treat your condition, whatever this is, right in front of me, because I couldn't let you walk out of here today without giving you some relief. But at the same time, this isn't your problem. Like, that's a doctor. That's a medical professional that is guiding you to say, hey, Chris, you need to go this is a wake-up call for you to go figure out what in your environment was triggering that and why you're feeling fear from doing the stuff that you've always done. You need to go figure that out. But like any other doctor, he could have just said, he told me, he goes, here's your benzos, here's your Xanax, basically. And Xanax is almost as addictive as opioids, because benzos do a very similar thing. And I'll tell you, whenever I would take a Xanax, like, I was like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I mean, people, I walked right back into that environment, and I was like, ah, bring it
Yeah,
on.
nothing is staying on your brains anymore. And so basically it alleviates the feelings of this, whatever feeling that you have. And the
I hated it.
addiction isn't the drug itself. The addiction is the not feeling the pain.
Yeah.
Like I told you, like when I'm in pain, I will do anything. If you tell me to take opioid, I'll take opioid. You tell me to eat bricks, I'll eat bricks, right?
Right.
Because you do anything. And the desire to alleviate the pain, it is so dominant in
Yeah.
our genes that we need to do that. But the lesson of this reflection is you have to do it the right way. There are a lot of ways that you can do that, but it's not the right way. The only way that you can alleviate the pain naturally for good is you have to remedy the cause.
Right.
What is the cause? The pain is just a messenger. You don't shoot the messenger. What is the cause? If the cause is my hand is on the stove, I take it away from the stove and I need to remedy that. If the cause is I have diabetes, then I need to figure out what causes the diabetes. The problem is that, people say, diabetes is incurable. You don't know what causes it. I have diabetes for more than 25 years, and no one has ever told me what the cause of diabetes was.
Blood sugar. I mean, sugar.
No one's, the doctors are not telling me that. Maybe they have some kind of oath not to rat out sugar.
Well, I mean, what do they think that nobody's ever talked to you about what it's doing to your body ever?
Yeah, I asked. No doctors would ever tell me the cause of what causes diabetes.
That's wild.
It's
They
like
just they
they
just they
have
just give you
taken an
insulin is
oath.
what they give you.
They have taken a secret oath to protect the sugar or the poison. That, to me, like, wheat is not something we should supposed to eat.
We can't we
Sugar
can.
is not. Huh?
We're omnivores, so we can eat it, but like we shouldn't eat it long term. Like,
Eat dirt, but I'm
I mean,
asking you.
sometimes there's some nutrition in dirt too.
Yeah, and they eat dirt, but the thing is, why aren't you eating dirt right now? So when you say you can, doesn't mean shit to me. I'm sorry.
If your dirt tastes like chocolate, and that was all I, had
I
to eat,
mean,
I'd eat your dirt chocolate.
I mean, the thing is, wheat and whatnot is,
Well, we don't eat.
and then everything else is like seasonings that makes
Well,
it taste. The wheat. So to me, like
we don't
having
eat
the
wheat.
ability,
Like, we don't eat wheat. We
you're
we
supposed
eat
to
we
eat.
super refined, processed. We like nobody's
It's
out there
no
eating
longer
fucking
wheat.
wheat. Yeah, like
For one is if you eat wheat, you probably won't survive. It's poisonous to you. Yeah, and you eat this refined multiple times refined to something that's no longer resemble wheat at all. I mean, you bleach the wheat so it's become white flour, and then white flour you put into
bread or
mixture,
whatever,
and you
eggs
mix it
and
with
some, yeah,
eggs, and you mix
right.
it with
Okay.
butter, and you put it in. So you're not really eating anything that is resemble wheat, right? And so whatever is still underlining in the wheat, the property of wheat is still there. You just don't taste it. So wheat is not something you're supposed to eat.
Right.
Neither is sugar.
Sugar is straight fire, and fuel for your body. I mean, like, we absolutely need sugar, because if you're on a hunt and you see a berry,
Okay.
get a little bit of sugar and you keep running. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, we definitely need sugar.
Well,
You can't sustain off of fat.
well, you can say I definitely need opioid.
No,
I
we
can say,
don't
I mean,
definitely need opioids. Like, we
no,
definitely need.
you say we definitely need sugar. What is sugar?
It's a fuel source for us to move.
Yeah, but
We
the
have
thing
two.
is,
We have either fat or sugar. That's it.
we have so you have three macronutrients, right? You have carbs,
Yeah, but those are sugar.
right? No. We have carbs, we have protein, and we have fat. Carbs are not sugar. Okay, sugar is straight sugar. Carb can turn to sugar, but it's not sugar.
Hang on, a berry is straight sugar. If you eat a piece of
Berries
fruit,
not, berry has fibers.
it's not straight. It has
So
like an apple. An apple is filled with sugar.
what's the difference between a little fire and an atomic bomb?
I don't know. I mean,
It's
I
the
mean, I
same
guess
thing. It's
big
all
explosion.
fire. It's
Right.
all heat. It's all energy, right?
Sure.
Sugar is that because even
I
eating
know.
berries, right? It is inside of this fiber. You have to actually wring it out for it to come out. It doesn't go. It comes out right like you have a blast. That's what you do when you eat sugar because then, especially if you find sugar, because it goes there and boom.
I know.
I mean,
Gets you. You gotta go on a run.
no.
Like
Okay,
go get some
even
sugar here.
even if you modify your car with nitrous oxide, right? You release them. You not release the whole thing at once. You still got to like in the egg for it to go. Boom.
Okay,
And
hang on.
imagine you go and you give all at once. It got boom. That's
Time
the
out. Time out.
point. You look like yes, berry has sugar, but it has fiber. You can't just take all the sugar out and use it at once. You have to kind of work with it to get it out.
That's fair. Okay, but hang on. Let's pump the brakes on this conversation because like I know we have omnivore's dilemma in the future, and I know we have a sacred cow and the complete guide to fasting. We got plenty of time to talk about
Did we do sacred cow
sugars
before?
and maybe
Did we do
have.
sacred?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we already did sacred cow, but we got plenty more to come in terms of exploring food and fuel. So let's it's 11 o'clock. Let's go ahead and we'll
Put
put
a
a pin
pin
in
on
this
it.
one.
For me, it's like you need to find, you need to remedial the pain and not bury it, right? You're supposed to stay away from pain. Don't go and say, hey, I have no pain today. I should go and get some pain. That's not what we're saying here, okay? So we're not
Oh
saying
yeah,
go
not at
find
all.
pain, embrace
No,
pain,
no,
I say, hey, stay away from pain. But if
if you
there's
can.
pain, it's a messenger. It is on your side. So
Right.
you need to remediate the cause because that is the great way to do it. And the only way for you to do that is you have to figure out what it is that causes the pain.
Awesome. I mean, I agree. I totally agree. I don't want anybody to be in pain. Nobody wants to be in pain. But if you find yourself in pain, I agree with you. That's it. You got to problem solve your way through it. There is no magic bean. There is no elixir out there, like that's going to solve your problem. Even benign things like Advil or Tylenol or whatever, like that doesn't solve the problem. I mean, I personally take way too much ibuprofen. My body's in pain all the time. I work out all the time. I'm never going to take like an opioid, but I'd certainly take my fair share of ibuprofen. And I know I shouldn't wake up feeling like shit every day. You know what I mean? In terms of like my body hurting and everything.
But
It's a signal.
it allows you to continue to put your body in harm's way if you continue to take the pill. Say, okay, I play tennis and I overexert myself. I'm taking ibuprofen. So next time you play the same way. But
Right.
if you don't have the ability to take an Tylenol or whatever, you say, well, the first time was too much painful. I don't want to go into this pain again and be suffering again. So
Right.
that it is supposed to help you. If you take the pain, you continue to put your body into the stressful situation where it can't recover anymore.
You know what I'm going to do for my next monthly challenge in June? I'm going to go a month without any ibuprofen because like, I mean, I probably take ibuprofen every day. What's that?
Still, like today?
Yeah, like every day. Yeah, like I probably take at least 2 ibuprofens every single day.
Yeah, that's something I would advise against.
I agree. I don't want to. I mean, I wake up every morning and my back hurts or whatever. Or, I did a stupid hard workout that day, or I had a tennis match and my shoulder's sore. And I'm like, oh, I gotta get going today. So take like 2 ibuprofen or something like that. I mean, it's almost like I take it with my vitamins almost every single day. It's not every day, but it's probably 4 days a week. I mean, it depends on just how bad I wake up and
You're borderline addicted to ibuprofen.
Probably. I mean, yeah. I mean, like that's what I'm saying. It's like, I mean, I like this conversation. Even benign things, there's no magic pill, and the truth is it doesn't do anything. Like like it doesn't. Like I know that it doesn't.
Well,
like,
it doesn't help.
Right.
That doesn't mean that doesn't do any harm.
Right. No, I agree. I need to stop taking ibuprofen.
And being packer when you work, you say it
Right.
doesn't do anything. No, it doesn't do any good.
That's true. I mean, so
you don't know what harm it does.
that's true. I don't know what armor does, to be honest with you. But no, I think that'll be an interesting challenge for me because like I usually feel better when I don't take ibuprofen.
Same thing with coffee, right? I
Yeah.
drink coffee. Like I have 3 generations of my blood has I drink caffeine, right? To me, drinking coffee give you that boost, right? And body say, "Oh, boost," and I want to become addicted. And people are still doing it. People still tell you to drink coffee, right? I have drink coffee and I have more than 3 generations that I know of, right? Because I can't
Mhm.
go past back 3 generations because I don't know anybody past that. But 3 generations, right? We have drink coffee. I have drink coffee from the early age of probably like 10 years old, and I've drinking it for like 30 years, right? And it's one of those things where it's supposed to be, hey, good for you, but it's not. I
Right.
truly believe that it's better for you not to take it.
Oh, I'm sure we could convince ourselves all day long that it is okay, but like it's a do no harm situation, Like the less that you can put into your body, the better, without a doubt. So like you, anyway, all right, let's put a pin on it because I know we'll keep talking about for another 20 minutes. But yeah, no, I agree with you. The question we can leave with everybody is: are you embracing your pain or are you running away from it? Thanks for joining, and I hope you like this book. Check it out. I thought it was an interesting read if you're interested in exploring about the topics. We'll see you all tomorrow for the exciting conclusion for part 2. Oh, wait, is it tomorrow? Yes, it is.
Are we doing? There's a guest post.
That was Snow's.
So we're not doing that tomorrow.
No.
Okay, we're doing the conclusion then.
Yeah, we'll do part 2. Yeah, we'll do the actual next book in the
Sounds
series.
good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good night, everybody. Bye.